What's up, Cage Nation? It's Kevin Jackwitz, and this is the Cage Review. And this is going to be a review for SmackDown Live 1/16/2018. Just to preface this, I've had a couple of days where I haven't been able to put on a lot of videos. Sorry about that. Raw and SmackDown are going to be posted today. I've been very busy and haven't been feeling very well, so the last couple of days have been used up. So I'm doing a lot of videos today. Having said that, SmackDown Live. We start off with Jinder Mahal and Xavier Woods. This is part of the United States Championship Tournament. We're down to literally the last 3 matches, and the final match is supposed to happen, I believe, either next Tuesday or maybe even the Royal Rumble, whatever. So here we have Jinder Mahal, who everybody has ever heard me talk about. Jinder Mahal knows I think he is a very stiff worker. He cannot move very well. He's very stiff in the ring. And when I say stiff, I don't mean punching hard or, being aggressive like that. I just mean his body is stiff. He's not very athletic. He's just big. And, I can't believe that he was ever world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a day and time where Jinder Mahal can be a WWE champion. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. Anyway, the match itself, Xavier Woods shows why he is one of the more underrated performers in the whole roster. He is really, really damn good. Xavier Woods just does not get enough credit, and quite frankly, he's also pretty damn good on a microphone. That should make him way up here on the roster, but of course he's not, because WWE has no freaking clue what they're doing. And they want to put somebody like Jinder Mahal over Xavier Woods. So Woods carries the match, makes it look halfway credible. Jinder gets the win. What else can you say? It was a bunch of hot garbage. And WWE nowadays has this thing where you have to have the good guy versus the bad guy, even though we all know it's scripted anyway. This really gets me because they literally, as the show goes on, I'll explain what they're doing here, but it's like, it's okay to have good guy versus good guy. If you want to put the faces together, it's okay. If you want to put heels together, that's okay. They just have this thing where inherently they have to have that kind of storyline. It is 2018, people. Get over that. So that match within itself takes up like 30 minutes of the show, I think. And then you come to a Baron Corbin Royal Rumble bit where he's talking about how it's his thing because he's a lone wolf, and all you're gonna see is his body's going over the top rope and he's gonna win. I don't like Baron Corbin. I never have. I think he is another just big guy who is not that great in the ring and not that great on the microphone. To me, he brings really nothing to the business. Sorry, that's how I feel. But whatever. AJ Styles has an interview after that. He's talking about the fact that he has to have a handicap match, and it doesn't really matter. He's not going to let these two imbeciles take his title. Decent promo, but nothing extravagant. So honestly, at the end of the day, it's forgettable. Women's Rumble interviews. They did this, I think, 3 times in the show, and it would be interesting if they had mixed it up and had different interviews, different characters. No, they literally had the same interviews and they just replayed them. It is kind of cool that they're building up the Women's Rumble. I think that is a kind of a landmark event. So I'm very excited to see that and see how it goes. I just wish they would have done a little bit more with the promos than just rehashing the same ones. And then that brings us to the United States Championship Tournament match 2 for this episode, which is Bobby Roode versus Mojo Rawley. Decent match with Bobby Roode. You could tell he really injured his ribs or something on his side. And he was fighting through that. I don't know what to make of Mojo yet. I just, give him more time. I think he'll be alright. But honestly, an otherwise forgettable match. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't anything classic. And Bobby Roode comes out with the win. So that's cool. And that's what I mean about they building, faces versus heels. And it's like, okay, this is a point in time where nobody's really a face, nobody's really a heel. These are just characters on a show. And instead, they're going to have a worse match because they have to have the heel Jinder Mahal against the face Bobby Roode. Where I think, Woods versus Roode would have been a much better match. I am not a fan of Jinder Mahal at all in any way, shape, or form. The guy cannot move in the ring. There's been so many times he's in the wrong position. He's not doing what he should. He's just, like I said, incredibly stiff and not fluid in the ring at all. It just makes for a worse matchup. I'm sorry. So then you have Charlotte, Naomi, and Becky Lynch versus the Riott Squad. I'll be honest, I don't even think I finished this match. I just was not invested in it, did not care. I know I started watching it and they were talking about the Rumble, and I couldn't tell you who won. That's how much I don't remember about this match. Which is sad because Charlotte is amazing. Becky Lynch is really, really good. And I actually like Ruby Riott. I think she's pretty damn good in the ring. Naomi, she's incredibly athletic. So it had potential, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. So then we get the surprise that Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal are actually going to have their United States Championship match tonight. Originally it was supposed to be, like I said, it was either next Tuesday or even the Royal Rumble. I don't remember exactly which. But they decided to make it tonight. Okay, that's cool. So Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal. Roode comes in. His ribs are already hurting. You can tell. And they exploited that throughout the match. Jinder Mahal just went after the ribs again and again and again. And finally, Bobby Roode fights his way back through it and wins the United States Championship. They had Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac out there with the United States Championship. And, they have this show of solidarity between the two, which was cool. And so Roode gets the clean win. And he is the United States Champion. And I like that. I really like that. I like Bobby Roode. I think it's definitely damn deserved. And he put his body through hell on Tuesday to get it, that's for sure. You could tell he was really hurting with those ribs. So hopefully he's alright with that, and it's nothing big. But Daniel Bryan, Shane O'Mac, they both come in. They hand the belt to Bobby Roode together. He takes it. Hangs it up above his head, and there you have the show. I don't know how I feel about this SmackDown. It had a couple of cool points to it. I love the fact that they gave Bobby Roode the US belt. Jinder Mahal, I hope he starts going to the wayside. I really do. I can't stand him. You didn't have anything from Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, really, which are three of the better performers on the show, for sure. So, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how this builds up. And I'm wondering if they're going to do a Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler bit at the Rumble. Is Ziggler coming back? It's very possible. So, the show, not as bad as Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a little better than Raw. If I was going to give it anything out of 10, maybe a 5. Maybe a 5 out of 10. It wasn't very good, but it wasn't completely horrible either. And I think the reason it wasn't very good is because you had Jinder Mahal in 2 matches. You had the rehashed women's Rumble bits. You had the Baron Corbin Rumble bit, which Baron Corbin wasn't in the WWE, I wouldn't be sad. So that is what I think of SmackDown. I can't wait for something big to happen, because honestly, in the last probably decade and a half, the product has just gotten worse and worse and worse. And I will say that sometimes the fans getting involved in the matches and, you know, voicing their opinion can hurt what WWE is trying to do. And that is unfortunate. You know, I don't consider myself a mark by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just a fan. I am a guy who grew up watching wrestling. I have my opinions of what they are now, but they're just that. I put my money into the shows. I have my opinions. And that's what it really comes down to. I pay for the network. I go to live events. So, you know, that's just me. It's just, I am a fan. And unfortunately, as a fan, I've been very disappointed in the last, you know, probably decade at the product. So I'm really hoping that they can have some kind of turnaround. The PG era, I'm not a fan of, and I understand why WWE does that, but it's hurting their product. I mean, that's really what it comes down to right there. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's probably a 5 out of 10 for me. If you like the review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. This is Kevin Jackwitz, Cage Nation, out.
This is going down for real.